You are Locked On Giants Postcast, part of Locked On Sports San Francisco on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Yo, what's up, everyone, and welcome back to the Locked On Giants Postcast. I'm your host, Eric Tripoli Engel, and you may know me as the former producer for the Murph and Mac Morning Show on KMBR. And today, Hayden Birdsong, man, that is the huge story coming out of Colorado today. He was flying high today out there in Denver as he turned in a historic start for the Giants in a 3-2 win over the Colorado Rockies. The 22-year-old turned in 12 strikeouts over 6 innings of work. 12 strikeouts, the most of any Giants pitcher ever at Coors Field in a single game, and the most strikeouts by a rookie in a single game since 2007 when the freak, big-time Timmy Jim, did it himself. He had a pretty successful career with the Giants, right? I mean, not too bad. With the win, they avoid the sweep, but more importantly, Hayden Birdsong is showing us that he might be the best pitcher of the bunch in this young crop of arms. We'll break it down, but first, I want to thank all of you for watching us on the Locked On Sports San Francisco YouTube channel. Please, if you aren't subscribed already, hit that subscribe button right now. Thanks also for listening on the Locked On Giants podcast feed. However you're getting the show, we appreciate you tuning in, and make sure to check out the Locked On Giants Daily Show for more in-depth coverage. Ben Kaspick does a great job. This episode is brought to you by PrizePicks, the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Go to prizepicks.com/LockedOnMLB and use code all lowercase LockedOnMLB for a first deposit match up to $100. And this one was fun to watch, man. Like yesterday's game, I was telling you guys, I was so bored that I was like nodding off and kind of drifting out in and out towards the end of the game. This one, man, I felt locked in from the jump. And really, even before the game started, there was some drama happening. Bob Melvin, like, when has this ever happened? He gets tossed while bringing the umpires the lineup card before this game even started. Like, what? How does that even happen? How does that conversation devolve so quickly before there's even a call on the field? I wanted to go back and look through this crew and see maybe if there was anything that happened last night that Bob was, you know, at the end of the game that he was hanging on to for today or something. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it was not the best strike zone last night, but it wasn't like the Giants themselves were getting hosed. It was kind of inconsistent all over the place. So very weird. I'm not sure what happened. I'm sure Bob will explain to reporters during the Giants postgame. I'll check in on that and see if we can glean anything from there. But I mean, man, that was a really weird visual with no audio too. Just watching Bob Melvin just getting mad and like kicking dirt around before the game even started. It's just Bob Melvin and the bench coach sitting there and then the four umpires. All of a sudden, Bob Melvin's just mad and yelling. Very strange. Very, very strange way to open the game. But maybe he should do this more often. Maybe he got Jorge Soler going. Maybe it just got the juices flowing through the body or something, because Jorge Soler came up ready to go, man. A 478-foot home run, on the first at-bat of the game. Jorge Soler, 109.3 miles an hour off the bat. And I will say it again, 478-foot home run, the longest measured StatCast home run of the year in all of Major League Baseball, the second longest measured home run in the StatCast era for the Giants. So that goes back to like 2015, 2016. I can't ever remember which year it is, but it's one of those two. And gave the Giants an early 1-0 lead. It was a low sinker, but right over the middle of the plate. It wasn't low enough. It was just above the knees, like maybe thigh high. And Soler just, I mean, perfect swing on that low pitch and just, I mean, obliterated that ball, just crushed it. 478-foot mammoth shot. And dude was locked in for the rest of the game. I mean, he had a couple balls that he hit super, super, super hard in this one. I mean, Jorge Soler with a couple, I mean, he had that 109.3 exit velocity. He had a couple over 100 miles an hour. He had a single later on in the game that was hit over 100 miles an hour. Almost hit a second home run late in this one as well. And with this guy, it's weird how one swing of the bat, he can look so terrible. Like last night, he was swinging and missing, back to swinging and missing at balls that were not close to the strike zone, just waste pitches that for anybody else is like an automatic ball, but Soler's out there swinging away at him. And today, one swing of the bat just gets this guy locked in. And that's a big key for Soler, is to have a competitive at-bat in his first at-bat of the game. And when he does, he's kind of on for the rest of the game. So Soler, when he hits, they come in bunches. And today, came in bunches for Soler. I mean, he was really swinging a good bat today, picked up 2 hits. He came close to having more than that, though. Both hits came on balls that left the bat at over 100 miles an hour. So nice day at the plate for Soler. But as I said at the top of the show, it was Hayden Birdsong's day, man. And from the start of this game, I mean, he had 4 strikeouts through his first 2 innings of work. He was really dealing and just kept cruising after that. The Giants gave him a little bit more insurance in the top of the third. Tyler Fitzgerald solo home run. Dude has now hit a home run in the last 3 games he's played. And that goes back to he played obviously yesterday. He hit the home run yesterday. But prior to that, last time he played was the 9th of this month. So a couple weeks ago, hit a home run in that game as well. The one he hit today, 434 feet. Dude is on fire right now. And Fitzgerald almost hit a second home run in this game on a later at bat on a high hanging curveball that he almost got all of. And if he had gotten all of it, that one would have been in the seats too. So, I mean, good job. Good hitting by Fitzgerald. 94-mile-an-hour fastball up in the zone. Wasn't a terrible pitch, but Fitzgerald was ready for it. Must have been looking fastball on that one. 105.2 miles an hour off the bat. And again, 434 feet. Gave the Giants a 2-0 lead. The one thing, I mean, Soler's home run, virtually impossible to get any runners on base before him because he led off the game with that home run. But you would like to see the Giants, again, get some damn base runners ahead of these home run hitters. And not that Tyler Fitzgerald is your prototypical home run hitter. In fact, in the at-bat after he hit his home run on the first pitch in his next at-bat, he tried to bunt. So, I mean, that's Giants baseball for you, guys, that there's no true home run threat on this team aside from maybe Jorge Soler, but there's nobody on this team that's that you really, the home runs kind of come at unexpected times. Like Ramos has been great, obviously, for the Giants, but they spread them out. There's not one guy on this team who's like, got 20 plus bombs already. It's coming from everywhere. So the Giants just need to do a better job of getting guys on base in general. They haven't done that very well this series. I mean, 3 runs, as we said, all series long, not enough to win a game at Coors Field. I guess it's enough to win a game at Coors Field if you got a guy on the hill who has 12 strikeouts and sets a Giants single game record, not just rookie record, a Giants single game record for most strikeouts at Coors Field by a Giants pitcher. That's unreal for a guy who's just making his 5th start in his career, a 5th major league start in his career. And this is what Hayden Birdsong turns in. The Giants did give him one more run of support in the top of the 4th. Yaz picked up his 500th career hit to put runners at the corners with 2 outs. They made sure to save that baseball for good old Mike Yastrzemski. Cool milestone for a guy whose, major league start got delayed forever and ever and ever. A guy who's going to hit free agency for the first time in his career at like 34 years old right now after this season ends. I mean, it's not the best big league career journey for a guy like Mike Yastrzemski, but he got there and he's had some success. So good job, Mike Yastrzemski. 500 career hits. It's a milestone, man. I mean, that's 500 more career hits than 90 than all. I'm going to go ahead and say all of us watching this Locked On Giants postcast right now will ever have in Major League Baseball. So and also the hit put Matt Chapman in scoring position at third base, which was big because then a passed ball allows Chapman to score from third. Ball was off target, but hits the glove of the Rockies catcher and kicked away. Didn't hit the dirt or anything. It was just a passed ball. He should have had. It was it kind of crossed him up a little bit, hit him on the thumb of the glove, it looked like, and couldn't really squeeze it. So anyways, results in a Giants run, 3-0 Giants lead. And Fitzgerald, that's when he just missed going yard a second time on a breaking ball that was high in the zone. Didn't get all of it, but was close. Then in the bottom of the 4th, the Rockies got their only 2 runs of the day off Hayden Birdsong with 2 outs, a 2-run bomb from Brendan Rodgers on a hanging slider. And I'm using the term bomb very loosely right now because any other ballpark in America, that thing is not a home run. He only hit it 98 miles an hour. It traveled 376 feet, which, as we know, Coors Field probably added an extra 15, 20 feet to the path of that ball. Any other ballpark, that's a fly out to the left fielder. That was a Coors Field special. The McMahon had walked in the at-bat before, so there was a runner on base, something that the Giants wish they could have done a couple times in recent games, is put a runner on base before a home run. And tonight they weren't able to do it, but the Giants still led 3-2 after this home run and you could see Hayden Birdsong was super upset with himself after that home run. Dude was just talking to himself, like yelling at himself. I just love how competitive he is. He's not like throwing other people under the bus. He's not like getting mad at his teammates. He's not acting out. you can just tell the fiery intensity that this guy has on the hill when he's talking to himself. And you've heard Dave Fleming, if you've listened to the NBC Sports broadcast on for Giants games. Dave's been talking a lot about during Birdsong starts how he talks to himself a lot, and they actually asked him what he's saying, and Hayden told them that he just needs to hear, like, we all got that. Well, I mean, most of us have that internal dialogue where we're kind of telling ourselves like what we need to do. Yeah, well, that pitch was a little high. Maybe release a little later. Like he's got all these tips he's telling himself after every pitch. And most people do in that scenario, like everybody's talking to themselves on the mound, but Hayden told Dave Fleming and the rest of the broadcast crew that he needs to hear it out loud, that verbally hearing it out loud and saying it makes it like real for him. It makes it different. It just processes different in his brain. So that's a lot of what he's doing out there on the hill is hyping himself up, telling him what he needs to do, talking through his game plan. Doesn't look like he's very nice to himself while he's talking to himself out there. I need my guy to treat himself a little better. I think any Giants fan would have loved to go out there and give him a high five or like a pat on the back and let him know, hey man, you're mowing him down out there. You're doing great. It's okay. You still got a 1-run lead. Like, let's go, But Hayden Birdsong, man, after 5 innings of work, he had 85 pitches and 10 strikeouts. I thought he might be done then, but credit the Giants coaching staff. They've been pulling guys pretty early. We're talking about maybe Kyle Harrison being pulled a little too early just a few games ago. Today, Hayden Birdsong gets to go back out for the 6th inning, and I thought that was a great choice. He rewarded the Giants with 2 more strikeouts, finishes up that inning with just 13 pitches, and holds the Rockies to just 2 runs over 6 innings. And wow, oh man, this guy was so good today. The most strikeouts by a Giants pitcher at Coors Field ever. 12 strikeouts, most by a rookie since Tim Lincecum back in 2007. Wow, Hayden Birdsong was just dominant today. We'll run through a lot more about his start on the other side. We do have to take a quick break here, but first, I want to just get through the rest of this game and how this went for the Giants. Nothing else really happened in this one, just to make it short and sweet. They were able to keep the score 3-2 for the rest of this one, and for some reason, the Giants offense just can't get that knockout blow against opponent starting pitchers. We got to talk about that later on as well. Today, Feltner was on the bump for like 7 innings, and this dude had a 1-9 record coming into this one with the ERA around 6. Like, no, this guy should have been out of this game after 4 to 5 innings of work max. And this offense needs to start making bad pitchers pay, especially at Coors Field. I mean, come on, please, for the love of God, have a little bit more consistency. And I mean, kind of funny that I'm begging this Giants offense for consistency when the last 3 games they've been pretty consistent. They've scored 3 runs in each of them. So the Giants, they're not doing super great at the dish, not terrible either, but today it was enough to win. And another big moment, last big moment from this one, Camilo Doval. We've all been waiting to see him back on the mound after that last outing was just terrible against the Twins. One of the shakiest we've ever seen him. Obviously, this guy's name's been thrown out a lot in trade conversations and in hypotheticals that are all over the Twitter machine. Everyone wants to move on from Camilo Doval. And today, I mean, he looked pretty good, man. He came out, threw a lot of strikes early on. He did end up walking Jake Cave. He also stole second, but was able to get out of that inning with a ground ball to third base and ultimately have no damage, unscathed, gets his 87th career save. Let's go ahead and move that Camilo Doval saves tracker. If you got the Camilo Doval bobblehead saves counter, yeah, we got to move that one up to 87 saves career-wise for Camilo Doval. And it was a good moment for him. Like, the slider looked on. He looked pretty good. He didn't look as off kilter as he did in his last outing. And I'm not saying he's out of the woods. I'm not saying that he's home free and, to stamp him as good to go for the rest of the season. No, we're not there. But this did buy him a little bit more goodwill. It bought him definitely a little bit longer of a leash in some more closing opportunities. And we're not going to go out there and make a change at the closer position right now. And if he had, blown up in that 9th inning, I seriously think they would have had a long, hard look at maybe going to Ryan Walker or Tyler Rogers in the 9th inning from now on if Doval couldn't get it done today. So this was a big test out there in Coors Field too. And he was facing the meat of that Rockies order, and he got through it, man. He got through it, did a good job, didn't give up the run, locked down the save. Yes, he did put a guy on base, But one very encouraging thing was no ball today was hit hard out of Camilo Doval's hand. That ground ball to third was a weak roller, and two looking strikeouts in the prior 2 outs that he got, and put the one runner on with a walk. Camilo's going to have some location issues. That's who he's been through his whole career, a little bit effectively wild with that fastball, but he's got electric stuff. It plays. And when he's on, he's on. And today he was on. So Camilo Doval buys himself a little bit more time as the Giants closer. We'll see what he can do next time out. I mean, it's like a game by game basis with this guy right now. I'm rooting for him. I love Camilo Doval. I'm still very anti-trading Doval. I think what you're going to get back for him is not anywhere close to the value of what this guy can provide your team. I mean, you're going to get rid of a guy who could potentially bounce back and be one of the best closers in all of baseball. And you're not going to really get that value back for him at all because he's been so up and down this season, even though he was an all-star last year. I mean, it's a what have you done for me lately league. And lately, Camilo Doval has been very average at best. So I don't want to see him moved. I don't think the Giants are going to get a lot back for him. I don't think that's the best idea. Yes, they do have a lot of options in the late relief role. And I don't know. I just don't think moving Doval is necessarily the best idea for this Giants team. We got to take a quick break here, but on the other side, we got to really dive in to this Hayden Birdsong day. I mean, wow, so much to break down from his 12 strikeouts. I mean, there's so many, historical facts in reference to this point and so many other things he did today. The whiff rate was crazy. We got to get into all of it on the other side of the Locked On Giants postcast. Stick with us. I'm your host, Eric Tripoli Engel. We'll be right back. Today's episode is brought to you by PrizePicks. PrizePicks is America's #1 fantasy sports app with over 5 million members. PrizePicks is the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. It's just you against the numbers. You pick more than or less than on 2 to 6 player stat projections for the chance to win 100 times your money. There's no better way to cash in on all the post-All-Star break MLB action than PrizePicks. Add your favorite players from the diamond to your PrizePicks lineups all season long, whether it's strikeouts, RBIs, or first inning runs. Take your pick of more or less and add them to your PrizePicks lineup today. You can now win up to 100 times your money with baseball-only lineups on PrizePicks. If you submit a winning lineup featuring 4 Demon Squares, you'll cash in big time on the biggest moments of baseball's early season. Download the app today and use code LOCKEDONMLB for a first deposit match up to $100. Again, download the PrizePicks app today and use code LOCKEDONMLB for a first deposit match up to $100. It's PrizePicks. Pick more, pick less. It's that easy. And today's show is also sponsored by eBay Motors. Passion, drive, and patience. The formula for winning championships is also what keeps your ride or die alive. eBay Motors has everything you need to maintain your vehicle and level it up to peak performance. Superchargers, roof racks, exhaust kits, LED headlights, and more. Whether you're into speed, power, or style, eBay Motors has got you covered. With over 122 million parts for your #1 ride or die, you'll always find exactly what you're looking for. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, your part is guaranteed to fit your ride every time or your money back. Because with eBay Motors, you're burning rubber, not cash. With all the parts you need at the prices you want, it's easy to make your car the MVP and bring home huge wins. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply. eBay Guaranteed Fit only available to U.S. customers. Welcome back to the Locked On Giants postcast. I'm your host, Eric Triple E Engel. Today, the Giants avoid being swept at Coors Field with a 3-2 win. And while this series was bad, there's no two ways about it. You can't be losing series to the Colorado Rockies, who are damn near 30 games under 500. That's inexcusable. However, Hayden Birdsong today, man, just absolutely incredible. 6 innings pitched, only 2 hits, 2 runs given up on that one Coors Field special home run, 2 walks, and 12 strikeouts. His ERA down to 3.55. Dude has started 5 games in his Major League Baseball career, very young Major League Baseball career. 12 of his 22 first pitches landed in the strike zone as strikes. I mean, this guy was on fire all day today. He had, as I said, 12 strikeouts. How did he get it done? He got it done with the curveball, man. 10 strikeouts with that curveball that has been a work in progress a little bit since he's come up. That was one of his most effective pitches in the minors and hasn't thrown it a ton in the majors. He's been using that changeup a lot more, which he kind of went away from today and went right back to that curveball. And man, did that pay off big time for him today. 12 strikeouts. He got one with the slider, one with the fastball, 10 with the curveball. He also generated the most swings and misses by a Giants pitcher all season long from any single game this year. 27 swings and misses by Hayden Birdsong today. 60% whiff rate, man. That is absurd. This guy was so good today, virtually unhittable, This guy, I think, to me, he showed us today that this is the best prospect that the Giants have as a pitcher, and he gets better every single time he's on the mound. And I don't know how he's going to top this. I highly doubt that he can come out. What's he going to do next time? Strike out 15 and in a shutout in 7 innings? Like, that would be insane. But would you really be? I mean, like, I would be shocked if he did that. I'm not going to say that we're expecting that, but like the fact that that could even be like in the realm of plausibility for a guy making what would be his 6th MLB start, like that would still be absurd. Like, but double-digit strikeouts, 7 innings, shutout. Birdsong could do that. Like, it's not insane. That's like me, not me. It's how much different does that sound than me saying like, oh yeah, Keaton Wynn might go 12 strikeouts, 7 shutout. Like that, you're going to just turn off my show if I say something like that. I think I just saw someone drop off as soon as I started talking about it. But I mean, for Hayden Birdsong, that wouldn't be like a super out of the realm of possibility thing. Like, this guy has been so good for the Giants. I'm putting him ahead of Kyle Harrison. I'm putting him ahead of Carson Whisenhunt, of anybody else. He was already ahead of all the other guys, Mason Black and Landon Roop and all. But Birdsong, man, this guy has been so good. And they finally let him go a little bit longer, let him run that pitch count up. And you saw how effective he was in that last inning. He was still striking dudes out. It did not matter what that pitch count was. This guy is a competitor, and that baby face too. Like, he might go ahead and steal the babyface assassin nickname away from Steph Curry if he keeps doing this, because my God, I'm happy to donate a little bit of the beard to Hayden if he needs help, because we got to get the guy growing a stash or something. He needs some facial hair so he stops looking 12. Call him Birdman Jr., because this guy looks like he's 10 years old out there on the mound just doing work. Birdsong, so good today. And in all seriousness, this guy, so effective, man. And his pitch distribution today really kind of intrigued me. Let's break it down. We get into this a little bit sometimes, and today he went away from that fastball, which he throws like 60% of the time, 48% of the time, excuse me. Wow, where did I get that prior number? 48% of the time he throws that four-seamer, and today he only threw it 28% of the time. He went back to that curveball, threw it more than anything else. Threw that four-seam fastball 29% of the time, threw it 28 times. But that curveball today, he threw it 34% of the time and threw 33 of them. Same with the slider, 33 sliders, 33 curveballs, 28 four-seam fastballs, only 4 changeups from Hayden today. And the changeup, he was throwing a lot, 18% of the time coming into this one, completely went away from that. The curveball is the big thing, though. He threw that pitch more than any other pitch today. Tied with the slider, but coming into tonight, he only threw that pitch 11% of the time, was really not using it at the big league level, and looked, unhittable today. That 12-6 curve just dropping off the table aggressively. Threw it a lot on first pitches of at-bats too. Throwing guys off balance right from the start of the at-bats, and it really worked to his favor. And I think that's kind of why you saw that usage go up so much, is because he was throwing it so early in counts and would also close out at-bats with it too. And when you have a pitch that you can command in such a way that you can start an at-bat with it and finish an at-bat with it, that is a really, really good pitch, man. And this guy has been so impressive. Everything that he's done has worked, and I can't wait to watch this guy start. Every time that he's on the mound, I just feel like I'm locked in, and he's just so fun. Every pitch he's competing, he's got, high 90s fastball. And by the way, that 97 mile an hour fastball he's got has some lateral movement too. And when you are throwing a four-seam fastball that's 97 with movement like that, I don't know how you hit that. I just don't. And when you pair that with the 12-6 curve and the way the slider was working today, dude was on fire, absolutely on fire. And we're talking about pitch uses. Wow. Pitch usages, by the way. We were talking about whiff rate, the 60% whiff rate that he had. Well, guess what? His curveball had a 63% whiff rate. He had 19 swings on that curveball, 12 swings and misses. I mean, and of the contact that he had, I mean, people weren't really able to hit that ball super hard. The max exit velocity on any hit off of that curveball, on any contact made off of that curveball, just 80 miles an hour. So even when people were able to hit this curveball, it didn't go anywhere. They didn't hit it hard. They had 5 foul balls off of those 19 swings, and 12 swings and misses. 12 plus 5, that's 17. You only had 2 curveballs in this whole game that were swung at that weren't a strike. Like, that's incredible. That's absolutely incredible. This guy's been so good as a Giant, and man, oh man, I'm just so excited to see what he has to come, what he has in store for the Giants. And as far as I'm concerned, I'm putting this guy ahead of Kyle Harrison. And I know that's not what the Giants power or the MLB like rookie rankings say, but for my money, dude, I'm taking Hayden Birdsong. I'm taking the guy who's matching what big time Timmy Jim did. And only 22 years old. And yeah, I know Kyle Harrison is also 22 years old. By the way, we should note Kyle Harrison did have a start with 11 strikeouts. Like, Kyle Harrison is not like, I hear some people bagging on this guy lately. He's got sky high potential too. I just like Hayden Birdsong a little bit better. I like the frame. I really like the fiery competitiveness where he just constantly is. I mean, you can see how hot he's running. I feel like his face is just bright red all the time. And I love guys like that are ready to compete and just, I mean, like, are willing to die out there for their team. Like, this guy looks like he could go out there and throw 180 pitches and he would never ask to come out of the game. He would just keep going. And dude is a battler, and I love that. We got to take a quick break. On the other side, we'll wrap up the show. Talk a little bit about these Giants home runs, too. Home runs always fun to talk about. Stick with us on the Locked On Giants postcast. I'm your host, Eric Triple E Engel. We'll be right back. Today's show is sponsored by FanDuel. I love sports. I love them so much. I never want them to stop. But as the playoffs wind down in the NBA and the NHL, we get fewer and fewer games, and the sports just aren't sportsing like I want them to. But FanDuel lets me keep the sports going whenever I want. All I have to do is open the app and dream up bets anytime I'm in the mood. And you know what? There was a major political event that happened today. We're not going to talk about that political event, but you guys know who Nick Castellanos is, right? You know his track record. I mean, it's a deep drive to left. Nick Castellanos makes it a 1-run game. We all know what I'm talking about. So guess what, man? I saw that news today. I immediately jumped on that Nick Castellanos anytime home run. And guess what, man? After 2 days of not so great FanDuel stuff, we are back, baby. And I want you guys to follow this lead. I mean, it's not rocket science here. If there's a crazy thing happening in this country at any point in time, does not matter what it is, you run to your FanDuel account and you put some money on Nick Castellanos to hit an anytime home run, because that is a lock, as sure of a lock as there is in today's world. And this summer, right now, FanDuel is hooking up all customers with a boost or bonus daily. That's right. There's something for everyone every day, all summer long. So head on over to FanDuel.com and start making the most out of your summer. Nick Castellanos sure is. FanDuel, official sports betting partner of Major League Baseball. Welcome back to the Locked On Giants postcast. I'm your host, Eric Triple E Engel. Today, the Giants win 3-2 over the Rockies, avoid the sweep, still lose the series in Colorado, and that sucks, man. You cannot be losing series to a team that is damn near 30 games under 500 when you're looking to make a second half push to the playoffs. And oh, by the way, you got the Dodgers coming up next. At least the Giants got a win on the last game of the series. Maybe, just maybe, they can build on this and have some momentum going forward. But they need a lot, man. And this offense has been inconsistent, but Tyler Fitzgerald has just been on fire, man. And I want to see this kid playing more. I really do. I mean, another home run for him today. He had a great 2-out at bat last night to hit a double down the line, an RBI double. He also hit a home run last night as well. I think this guy needs to get some more playing time going forward. And yeah, they don't really have very many options at shortstop right now. So he is firmly in the mix of getting some reps there. But the way that he's swinging the bat, I mean, this season, he's been really good. 298 batting average in spot starts. And 883 OPS. This guy has been really solid, mostly batting in the bottom of the order too, like doesn't have a lot of protection around him. I want Tyler Fitzgerald in this lineup more often than I don't. And I know he probably can't play every single day, but I want him and Wisely in these lineups. I really do. Wisely also went 1 for 3 today. He's been kind of cooling off a bit lately. His batting average dipped below 280. It's now down to 279. But those are two young guys that I really want to see keep playing, that give the Giants a lot of heart. And that's something that you can't measure. I mean, there's a lot of stats and stuff in baseball and sabermetrics, and I am not smart enough to understand 90% of them. But one thing I do know is that there are just certain guys that just have it, whatever it is. And you hear that a lot, you know, the moxie or whatever the hell you want to call it. Brett Wisely and Tyler Fitzgerald, those two are just dudes. Those are just ballers, man. Like, I want them in the lineup. They're going to grind out at bats. They're going to make plays in the field. Shout out Brett Wisely's error in the ninth. That was not great. Or what was that, the ninth? It was late in this game either way. But I don't want to, I don't want these guys not playing. They give the Giants a lift. They have a lot of energy. They have good at bats. They you know, Fitzgerald can steal. Wisely kind of can steal, sort of, not nearly as good as Fitzgerald, but these two guys, I think, give a lot to your team, and I like them in the Giants lineup going forward. Also, it's just always fun. Let's say it again. Jorge Soler in a 478-foot home run, a 478-foot home run. These are like home run derby numbers. Like you're playing MLB The Show and you just pressed square and you had the batter's eye right in the perfect spot and you just mashed that ball as far as you possibly could. Not even to say humanly could, because you did it in a video game. But Jorge Soler somehow turned that video game power into a real life thing out there at Coors Field, which if you're going to do it in any place, that's kind of the place that it gets done. So shout out Jorge Soler. I mean, please continue to bring a bat to the yard, my guy, batting 225 this season. It's been so up and down with him all year long, but when he's on, and it's so fun to watch. I just wish this guy would be on more often than he's not. Notoriously a much better player in the second half than first half. Maybe this is the start of something, but we've said that a lot this year. So don't get your hopes up with Soler, but it's still fun to see a 478-foot bomb. Hayden Birdsong, definitely get the hopes up on that, because that guy is the real deal. Fly high, free bird. I mean, the bird is the word. Whatever bird pun you want, throw it on out there. I mean, I'm not apologizing for any dad jokes today. Hayden Birdsong, I mean, you get all the dad jokes after a 12 strikeout performance in 6 innings at Coors Field, and you set the single game record for most strikeouts by a Giants pitcher at the house of horrors that is Coors Field in your 5th start as a big leaguer. My God, Hayden Birdsong, like, I don't know how much more excited I can get about this kid. I am locked in on every single start that he has for the rest of the season. With the win, the Giants at 48-52, not good. We got the Dodgers next. See how that goes. They are banged up though, so the Giants do have a shot. They've played them pretty tough lately. I think they've won 3 of the last 4 against the Giants. I think the Giants have won 3 of the last 4 against the Dodgers, something like that. So they should be ready to compete for this. They should be. We'll see how that goes though. Series in Los Angeles, and we'll be coming to you live after every one of those games on the Locked On Giants postcast, as we always do. So make sure you tune in for that. It's all the time we got for you guys today. Thanks for tuning in. It's been a fun show today, man. I mean, how do you not have fun when Hayden Birdsong has 12 freaking strikeouts, man? Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time. Peace.